Good morning, everyone. This is the Fellowship of Spirit Zoom meeting coming to you from Farmington, New Mexico. Today is the 30th of April, the last day in April. Tomorrow will be May Day, and it will be a whole new month tomorrow. But today is still April, and we're happy that you're with us and hope that you'll have a great time and get some information. I know that you will get some good information that will be enlightening and will make a difference in your life. So today is Margaret Cheesebro and Steve will be doing our music. Jerry Lard will be doing our spiritual reading. And George, Dr. Reverend George Harris will be giving our message. And I'm Ron Holloway, and I will be your moderator for today.
What happened to Robert Travis?
Robert Travis has got long COVID.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Poor guy.
George.
Got long COVID.
George has valiantly stepped up. Wasn't scheduled to speak this weekend because Robert Travis was, but Travis has got long COVID and he's not feeling well, and he just didn't want to be honest. So George is doing us a great favor by stepping up and giving an impromptu speech that he didn't have a long time to prepare for, but he's got all kinds of information and years of experience in metaphysics and speaking, and he will do a good job for us. I know that he will. Anyway, so hi George. Our first order of business is, do you have any?
Yes, I booked the Kiwanis Park shelter that we always use for our summer solstice, and it's going to be on Tuesday. I believe that date is the 20th, it might be the 19th in June. I booked it from 4 to 8. We will gather up between 5 and 7:30. A lot of people have to work, so 5:30 will be about the time that we get there. I haven't nailed down any particulars. Fred will be doing some music for us. And I think we're going to make it a potluck where everybody brings something. Can give you a little more detail on that in a week or two when I talk to a few people about what we're going to do. But right now, that's what it is. It is the Tuesday, the 19th or 20th. I'm not sure which that is, in June.
Okay, great.
So try to come, bring your family, bring the kids. The park is always beautiful in that time.
Yeah. So make plans to do that. It's almost 2 months away, but it's not too early. That will happen really quick. Anyway, so we have 4 people on Zoom, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people here in the sanctuary. So let's our first order of business is we're going to have a prelude song that is going to be played by Margaret, and the name of it is "Shout to the Lord," and it is by Darlene Zachet. I don't know how to say that.
Me neither.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Darlene wrote it, and it's going to be played by Margaret, and so let us welcome Margaret Cheesebro. you, Margaret. Thank you. Okay, does anyone want to do an opening prayer?
I have kind of a lengthy one.
Give a prayer.
Yeah. It's an affirmation type prayer thing.
Well, bring it
You
up.
can do one yourself if you'd rather.
Well, I don't care. Go ahead and bring it up.
Do it, Steve. Okay. It's the last day of the month, so this is the Science of Mind here for last month, and it's all about vulnerability. And so this is penned by Eugene Holden, who is the World Ministry of Prayer guy. It's called The Power of Vulnerability. And it takes courage to be vulnerable is to be totally honest with yourself and others, opening up completely, exposing your inner being to the world. It takes courage to accept the emotional risk that comes from being open to love unconditionally. The affirmation is, I am the love of God. I am courageously honest with myself and others. I'll just go for one more. Cracked wide open. Making the commitment to be this open and honest with ourselves has the potential to crack us wide open. When we allow this to happen, we no longer live for ourselves. We live for the divine. The affirmation for that is, I am open, receptive, and available to live the life of God. I surrender fear and accept that I am the light of the One. I am one with God.
Thank you, Steve.
Amen to that. I like that.
Okay. Now we have another song. Is I Am So Happy, and is number 345 in the Brown Book.
Take your time, Steve.
No rush, no rush, no pressure.
They make these things totally black. Can't even see the stupid button. There it is. Okay.
Okay, ready?
I am so happy, perpetually happy. Oh, I am so happy and free. Summertime, wintertime, springtime, and autumn. Yes, I am so happy and free. Inside me, outside me, round and about me. Oh, I am so happy and free. I am so happy, perpetually happy. Yes, I am so happy and free. I am so happy, perpetually happy. Yes, I am so happy and free. Summertime, wintertime, springtime, and autumn. Yes, I am so happy and free. Inside me, outside me, round and about me. Oh, I am so happy and free. I am so happy, perpetually happy. Yes, I am so happy and free.
All right, thank you, Steve and Margaret. Beautiful song. Okay, so now we're going to do our reflection moment. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I am privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. All right. Now we have Jerry Lord is going to give us our spiritual reading. This is the fifth Sunday. and
Yes, it is.
She does the fifth Sunday spiritual reading.
Okay, this is from Bernie Siegel's book called Love, Magic, and Mud Pies, Raising Your Kids to Feel Loved, Be Kind, and Make a Difference, which I feel is very important. Define success. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. Albert Schweitzer? Yes. What is your definition of success, and how do you pass it on to your children? In a materialistic society such as ours, it can sometimes be difficult to live by a personal definition of success that is based on generosity, honesty, and happiness rather than on the accumulation of wealth. Most role models for success that dominate newspapers, magazines, and television are rich, famous, incredibly good-looking people who almost never work in professions that help others, like teaching or nursing or running charities. There is immense pressure on kids to succeed, but little emphasis on how to define success for themselves. One day, a young man from a very wealthy family walked into my office. Beside his illness, his major complaint was that his father had ruined his life. I asked him what his father had done, and he replied, "He gave me $1 million when I was 21. I remember thinking that there were many people in my waiting room that day who would have loved to relieve that young man of his burden. So I asked him how receiving such a nice sum of money could have ruined his life. He answered, "I have to be a success." Things were slightly different in our family. When my father died, he left each one of his grandkids $60,000. I wouldn't have worried so much about paying for their education if I'd known this was going to happen. Yet when our son Keith enrolled in college, he called me and said he needed money to pay his tuition. Naturally, I reminded him that he had $60,000 to pay for his own education, and he surprised me with this answer. "I gave it to a friend when I visited Nepal," he answered, "so I could help him come here and get an education and then return to help his people." If you were Keith's parents, which boy would you be proud of? The one trying to be a success or the one who gave the money away? I wasn't feeling particularly enlightened that day because Keith's generosity meant that I had to come up with the money for his tuition. In time, however, I became impressed with what Keith had done. I thought back on that boy whose father burdened him with $1 million, and I wondered what would happen if he had decided to use that money to start a charity for homeless pets or to dig wells in Africa for people who have no clean water. Would he have felt like a success? Would his father have yelled at him for wasting his money? Moral of this: how to make the magic. Think of ways to demonstrate to your children that material things are to be used to make the world a better place to live. Ask them to go through the newspaper for at least a week and clip articles about people or animals who need help, such as victims of natural disasters, fire, or crime. Then sit down together and review these cases to see how your children might help with time or with money or other donations. Maybe you'll raise the future head of the United Nations, Red Cross, or the Humane Society.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. The wise man once said that what we do for others is immortal and lives forever, and what we do for ourselves dies with us. So anyway, now we're at the Song of the Universe, song number 349 in the Brown Book. Thank you, Steve, Margaret. So today we have a pro tem speaker. George Harris is with us today, and I have no idea what your talk is going to be. I'm sure you're going to tell us, but one thing that I would really like to know is how is your health and your plans. I know that you had planned to go to, is it Indiana or Illinois to Cleveland? Okay, I knew it was in the Midwest, to a church over there that had been waiting for you. And we had hoped that, I know you had hoped to be there already. And how are those plans progressing? Anyway, in the meantime, let us welcome Dr. Reverend George Harris. You have to unmute, George. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, so I was saying all good morning and blessings to all of you. And I just acknowledge that all glory to God within, because the truth is all there is God. And as my book says, the rest we made up. So I've got my books have been published, and I'm ordering a bunch to bring with me when I speak on Mother's Day for you guys, which I'm looking forward to. So here we are. Oh, I had a distinct pleasure and joy of going to a concert given by Ricky Byers last night here in Albuquerque. She's Michael Beckwith's ex-wife, and she's such a fabulous singer. And the words to her songs were so real, and I could understand what was going on. And there's one, she said, it's called, I live in the land of I am, I am. I live in the land of I am, I am. I live in the land of the past, I am. And I live in the land of the future, I am. And now I'm living in the land of I am, I am. Want to say it once with me? I live in the land of I am, I am.
I live in the land of I am, I am.
I lived in the land of I am, I am.
I've lived in the land of I am, I am.
I will live in the land of I am, I am.
I will live in the land of I am, I am.
And now I'm living in the land of I am, I am.
And now I am living in the land of I am, I am.
Oh, powerful words to remind us that we're in the present moment. We're in the I am of God. So we're talking about today, the title is Three Little Letters. And it's the three little letters make up a phrase that, let me see my glasses. Three little letters that make up a phrase with some meaning to it. So I'll let you figure it out as I go through. To begin, let's go back to the year of 1975, which started my journey of these little letters and the phrase it makes. Well, actually, I began earlier than that, if I ever think about it. And so I'm going to come around to it in a circle and end up before this talk started. I'd been divorced for 1 year and living in Denver. I had a woman friend who I had met and had been slightly dating. Well, she disappeared on weekends. And one time she asked me to take her to Fort Collins, which was an hour's drive away, and drop her off and then pick her up on Sunday. And I was like, well, what are you doing? She said, well, I'm not just a school I'm going to. She didn't want to tell me what she'd been doing. So finally, there was the weekends that she would get rides with other people. And finally I went to her and I said, what is this that you're participating in? And she said that it was a special school and I could come sometime if I wanted. Well, I waited for a couple of weeks, and then after her disappearing this time some more, I said, well, I really want to find out what's happening. So I went to a special meeting during the week. I was apprehensive listening to some members explain what it was and me thinking it was a cult. After a while, it ended, and the 6 people there, including myself, were asked if they wanted to be a part of it. I debated back and forth as they went around the room. And finally it came to me. And I finally got up the courage enough to say, yes, I do. I agree to join, and it's going to start next Wednesday night or Friday night. So at that point, it was a decision made by me by those 3 little letters. But actually, I realized now, or I did afterwards, is I got more connected to going there because Susan was there. So it was still the 3 little letters as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I found out later on that this school was the Gurdjieff school, which I've talked about, and it was very appropriate for my life and what I gained in knowledge. So using those 3 little words helped me get into something that was important to them. I stayed in it for 5 years and then got out, and I moved to Fort Collins. I decided to go to a school that was named Colorado Institute of Transpersonal Psychology. So it was about holistic health, wellness counseling, etc. Pardon me, my throat is sore and I gotta sneeze at times. So I was living in this house and with this woman, and I decided, I saw this advertisement that she had brought home, and I said, wow, I would like to go to holistic health. I would like to study more about that. At the same time, I received a message, paperwork, message to me about going to Denver and studying to be a financial consultant. Well, I was interested in that too. So I went back and forth, do I go to holistic health? Do I go to financial management? That would probably pay more money and maybe be more fulfilling. But then I finally decided that no, I wanted to go to my Colorado Institute of Transpersonal Psychology. And it was a decision made following these 3 little letters again. And it was very helpful, supportive, and what else do I want to say about it? Dynamic or something, that I chose to go to that school. So I studied for 2 years. And then it came down to where she and I decided, did we want to go to Boulder and finish more work or go somewhere else? And I called up about this Ayurvedic Institute that Dr. Ladd had, and found out that they were starting a school in like 3 weeks. And I decided that, okay, I've got to go. So again, the 3 letters came up. And I ended up going to Albuquerque and studied Ayurvedic medicine. And I also, in between that time, I had studied Reiki and became a Reiki master, and I started doing energy work on people. And that's when I went to the school, that's when I could see own thoughts and emotions in people's bodies, which was really incredible that I could do that. And it helped me grow more in my work, which I am now as a medical intuitive. And so that was a very important aspect of the 3 letters. And then, so while I was in Albuquerque, a friend of mine did some breath work, and she invited me to come and experience it. And I asked her what it was like, and she told me, and I said, well, that sounds interesting. And so she did some sessions with me, and God, it was incredible, which is why I do breath work now, because it helped, I could feel the release of old toxins in my body. And then she told me, well, there's this school that if you're interested, you can come and be a part of and gain knowledge from and so forth. And here we go again, another option of where I do this or this school, or just stay in my own. Oh, I was a painting contractor by then, so that was my choice. Do I keep doing that, or do I go to the Colorado to do this program in Albuquerque? Again, I was thinking, what if this is a cult? I don't know. I've got to be careful what was going on, because this was in the 70s and there was a lot of that going on. And so I debated about it. And then one night I had a dream. And the dream was about how my youngest son, Dylan, who was 6 at the time, I had a dream that he was kidnapped. And he was taken away by some people who wanted, what do they call it? They wanted money back. set a ransom. And it happened to be that the ransom they were looking for was the exact amount I was having to pay to go to this school, which was called the 6-month program. And it was based upon Course in Miracles, which I had done some study. So here it was pretty clear to me that I've got to go to the school, because it's not about my son Dylan. It was about my inner child inside. And I got that message. And so I said, okay, let's join the school. I went on the 6-month program. After that was over, I did practitioner and then leadership. And I wanted to do more work because our relationship with this wife of mine healed really strongly. And it was powerful messages and powerful work. And I wanted to teach people this stuff. So I told my teacher in the program what I was thinking of. He says, well, I think you want to teach this sort of stuff. And he said, you want to, I'm thinking that what you should do is go to school and study family and marriage counseling. And so I had just another decision to make, and pulling out the 3 letters that stand for, to see where I put it down at, your entertainment system. And I didn't tell you the first one, did I? I'll come back to it. Anyway, so what do? Do I continue doing what I'm doing on my painting and let things go, or do I go to the school, marriage and family counseling? Well, what happened was then I'm going, that's too left brain for me. I don't want to do that. So I looked around in papers and magazines, and I found this ad for the University of Metaphysics to learn to be a minister of metaphysics. And I thought, wow, that's good, because people come to the minister for help and support, so I could do that and give up the other stuff. So that decision was made again by Source. And then what happened after that? So here I have my degree in holistic health and whatnot, and at University of Metaphysics. And in metaphysics, I became a minister, and I was also, pardon me. Anyway, I realized that I had a special relationship with God, who was leading me in ways that I would never have chosen to do myself. And it happens that if you do that, you can create your entertainment system. Think about that. What word would be that? So then I got divorced. We had a marriage for a while, and it was good. And then I got divorced, and I started a business teaching communication relationship skills. And then I went to, I had an ad in the paper to become a minister of spiritual peacemaking. It was a 2-year program. And I'm going back to God, okay, what do I do? Do I go do that, or do I stay with the classes with this program? It's another program. It's going to be another minister. And I got the word to stay there and go through the program for 2 years. So I was excited about it. And when I got to be, so I signed up for a 2-year program. And I graduated in let's see, my mind's not working clearly. 2007. And I came home. And I said, okay, God, what am I supposed to do? I've got a degree in metaphysics already. I'm not sure I know what to do, whether to take that or go to a different route. But I went back and looked over all the situations that I'd been at and how I was guided by God to keep moving forward. And so Spirit told me, he said, just be George, and I talk a lot about being, and I knew that. And God said, just be who you are. Okay. And for 3 months, I was doing my painting business, and I was also working with clients. And then God, I finally waited June, July, and August. I said, okay, is it ready? Am I ready for something bigger? And God said, just about 3 weeks, and be patient. Okay. So 3 weeks came along. I was at my Science of Mind church, and I listened to God speak more than the minister. And this is what he said. it's time for you to have a church of your own. Now, I never wanted to be a pulpit minister. That was one thing that I was pretty sure about. But what the hell do I know when you're being guided by the master in charge? So I was told that I was to have a church of my own. It would have about 200 people, and I would teach all that God has taught me and help create practitioners and ministers. And I'm sitting in this house. I have no church. I had no desire to go to a church as a minister. What am I supposed to do? The only thing that I could do was to say something. Anybody know what word I'm talking about?
Yes.
I can't hear.
They are saying yes.
Yes. Yeah. So all I could do was just say yes at that moment, along with all the other yeses I have said. And so I told you guys this before. So 2 weeks later, through a number of circumstances that happened, I ended up getting hired by his church in Pagosa, in Bayfield. So I was there for 3 years. It was really great. I enjoyed it. And then I got connected with Randy Barnes over at Fellowship, who I had met before, and talked, and he wanted me to take over some of the classes or some of the Sunday services. And so I did in the beginning. And then he said, well, actually, I want you to take over the church. We're moving to Belize. So here I go again. And I've told you guys that were here at the time that yes is the most important word to say. You have no idea what God can provide for you. But just to say yes, that's about the only thing I can do, God. Turn myself over to you. And the truth is that I could never have figured out how to go to this church in Bayfield, to become a minister at Randy's house, a church, to be in part in teaching classes at the church at Fellowship, and all that I was doing. It wasn't my doing, it was God, and it was yes and yes. So it's a perfect, strong word. It's guided me in my life, continues to guide me in my life. And it's just a simple word, you guys. It's always yes. So I think that's about all I want to say today. So follow my guidance, listen to God inside, and say yes, no matter what, because you never know what the hell is going to happen. So in answer to your first question about my health and all that, it's getting better. I've gone through 2 urinary infections since January. And I don't know what that's all about, but I'm trying to clear that up so that I can get it. Eventually, I want to still go to Cleveland. And I have a connection with them. We do one of the ministers and I do a Course in Miracles class on Sunday night. And then I have another group of another woman who I do workshops for on Saturday mornings, the last Saturday morning. So I'm staying in touch with them. I'm working on my health. I'm putting things together as to what I want to teach when I get there. And all I can say is people are saying, are you sure you don't want to go? It might not be good for you. I'm going, listen, this isn't about you. This is about God. And God wants me to go there, and I've felt it since the beginning. So I'm not about to give up. And I didn't do that during the throat surgery and through the surgery in my head and the infection that went on. So yes, yes, yes. Let me say that. All of you guys, take it on. Yes, yes. Blessings.
Thank you, George. Well, I'm glad that your health is improving. I'm glad that you still have your dream alive and your plans, and that it's going to go forward to the best of your ability. And who knows what God has for us, but I agree with you that if we say yes, we don't know, the adventure continues, and we just don't know what's going to happen, but it is going to be good. I believe in the beneficent creator of the universe, that everything is going to be good eventually. Maybe not. You know, we do go through our trials and tribulations like you have done over the last few years with your throat surgery and your infections and things. However, you have come through it with a smile on your face and gladness and love still in your heart. And you are an example for all of us. Thank you, George.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to say to George? Bill Clark is coming forward. me get you up here.
I think a very important part of that saying yes is to step back away from your ego. Because if you let your ego stay there, then it's all about you. Whereas if you step away from that ego, and then you can make it about the Creator.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyone else? Well, George, we still hold you in our heart and in our minds, and we wish all the best for you. We thank you for coming to us today on such short notice, and you still came up with a very inspirational talk, so thank you.
And we're
So
looking
thank you. I
forward
think of
to,
you guys a lot often. I'm gonna be up there for Mother's Day. I'll be there in person.
looking forward to that.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, George.
And thanks for stepping in at the last minute for us. I really appreciate you.
Okay. So now we're going to do Holy Spirit, Source of Gladness, number 157 in the Brown Book.
Holy Spirit, source of gladness, come with all thy radiance bright, o'er our sense of toil and sadness, breathe thy life and shed thy light. Send us thine illumination, banish all our souls of noise, rest upon this congregation, spirit of unfailing joy. Let the peace which knows no measure now and quickly showers descend, bringing us the richest treasure man can wish or God can send. With a faith-filled affirmation, every fear we now release, rest upon this congregation, spirit of untroubled peace.
Okay, kind of a short one. Thank you.
Steve, you're getting better. All done.
Bit by bit.
We don't want you to get too good. We have to run off to Hollywood or Chicago or something.
Start demanding a salary or
Right,
something.
yeah. No, we love the talent, we love the effort it all takes, and we are all improved by the effort that we put in here, no matter what. And Steve's just real vocal about his, so we get to see, he puts his stuff right out there in the front for everybody
Yes, he does.
to look at, so that's good. All right, so we're now going to do our celebration of abundance.
Fall off those, yeah. You should fall off those stairs.
So, to put over your heart that which you intend to contribute, and repeat after me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive through infinity. I am prosperous. And just like Jerry's reading was that prosperity and happiness is not necessarily financial, but it doesn't hurt. I personally think that I can get obsessed with either having money or not having money. It's not the money that makes me happy. It's the lack of obsession that I have that adds to my peace and things. So, that's the trap that there is to think that those things that You know, if I had money, I would be afraid of losing it. If didn't have any, I would be afraid of not getting it. It's the fear and the obsession that blocks my sense of prosperity. So that's what I work on for me. Anyway, all right. Jerry did mention that we are planning our solstice get together for the 19th or 20th of June. It's a couple of months away, but we are thinking now that we will probably do like we did last year and have a potluck at the park, same park, and we'll get together and Fred will play music for us and we will visit and have good things to eat and just have a good time and celebrate the turning of the seasons. Also, I need to announce that there's a lady in Aztec who has opened up a shop, and I heard her last Sunday while I was driving back and forth from Aztec to Farmington. She was having an interview with the Mayu lady on Ken Radio, and she was talking about this crystal shop that she had opened in Aztec, and that she had partnered with a Kirlian photographer. A Kirlian photographer is a photographer that has a special camera that takes pictures of auras. And we had already decided and I was supposed to be looking for one. I had no idea that we had one that lived as close as she does. She lives in Bayfield. So I made it my business to get together and go down there and talk with this lady. Her shop is only about a block from my house. So I talked to her. She has a beautiful shop, and I encourage you to go and check out all the minerals and crystals and all of those things that it is called The Alchemist and the Magpie. And her name is Lisa Marie Jacobs. She has recently come from Bayfield. I forgot to ask her if she's moved to Aztec or not, or she's just she lived there for last 7 or 8 years, I think, in Bayfield. She spent a long time in Alaska, so we had some common things to talk about there. We had some, but she's a delightful lady. She is very metaphysical, and she has studied Course in Miracles, and so she's going to fit right in with us over here. She's agreed to have some of our flyers in her shop to promote us, and then we're going to reciprocate by maybe putting some of her flyers here so that she can promote her business. And she has a room that she built for Reiki in the back. She has a meditation room in the back of her shop, and so it's just really interesting. And so I got a good impression from her. She's going to be a lovely heart and maybe be part of our fellowship at some point. So that's my announcements. So if you have any questions about it or how to get in touch with her, just give me a call and I'll be happy to get you.
I have an announcement.
Okay, come on up.
It's not for me, but Sue Breeze moved here a while ago, and she's going to have an intuitive workshop on June 17th from 10:30 to 3:30. Cost is $60. And if you're interested, you can talk to me and I'll give you her number. But just wanted to get the news out. Or Jerry. Yeah, talk to Jerry too, because you need to register in advance. But she said she's going to teach the variety of ways to access your intuition and the benefits of applying them to your life with synchronicity and telepathy. The workshop includes visualizations, guided meditations, and creating a vision board. Bring a notebook, pen, and bag lunch. Coffee will be provided.
And it's going to be held here, right?
Here.
You're in the sector. Okay.
So, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, are there any other announcements? Jim, did you have anything to say? No? All right. Well, then we're going to have Bill Clark is going to give us our closing message.
Good morning again. Spontaneity.
Spontaneity is a quality of being able to do something just because you feel like it at the moment, of trusting your instincts, of taking yourself by surprise and snatching from the clutches of your well-organized routine a bit of unscheduled pleasure. Richard Ionelli. We call a friend we haven't spoken to for a while and we ask to go out for coffee. We pass by the same store on our way home every day, but this time we decide to go in and have a look. It's cleaning day at home, but the day is sunny and we decide to take a walk around the neighborhood instead. These are the moments that add color, richness, and meaning to our lives. Rather than stifling spontaneity, it's good to listen to its playful call and gladly flow. I can be spontaneous once in a while. I come away with a smile on my face and I remember how important it is to let myself play. Y'all have a wonderful week. God bless.
Thank you, Bill. All right. So, you got your iPhone ready? Okay. So we're now going to circle up. Dawn and Neva, you're our only Zoom people. We love you.
Love it. I'm so glad it's back.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, live at home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. It's not there. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Just weave us together, weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together in unity and yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my finest vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
May God bless you and keep you until we meet again.
Thanks for the belly shot, Ron.
Yeah, way to
We
go,
really appreciate
spontaneous.
those.
It's there. I don't know what happened.
Well, now it's back.
Bill
It's
encouraged,
back.
you get to blame Bill because Bill encouraged me to be spontaneous.
Uh-huh.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what happened.
So glad that's.